Imagine waking up every day without thinking much about the universe around you, as if the world ends where your sight does. But what if I told you that everything we know, from our city to the farthest planet in the solar system, is just a grain of sand in the vast cosmos? It's an impactful statement, but a true one. The reality is that outer space is so large and mysterious that each discovery makes us even more aware of our small position in the universe. This is a journey few understand, where we explore the universe and question our own existence within it. What we are about to see is not just science or astronomy. It's a chance to expand your worldview, to understand that Earth, the Milky Way, and even the solar system are parts of something infinitely larger. Imagine realizing just how distant our home planet really is from the stars, how the idea of contact with aliens becomes almost insignificant in the face of cosmic distances. If you're searching for something beyond the ordinary, if you're ready to embark on a journey where your understanding of the world will be transformed, then you're in the right place. Get ready to discover that everything we thought was big is just the beginning. Earth, our small blue dot in the vast universe, is a constant reminder of how we're just a tiny part within outer space. When we think of everything within the solar system, this planet, which seems immense and full of life, actually holds a rather modest place. Our atmosphere, forests, oceans, and everything that makes up Earth are limited to a sphere floating in the vastness of the Milky Way. This blue dot, home to billions of living beings, is the stage for all our history, every human achievement and failure thus far. And to think it's lost among so many other stars. In a way, looking at the universe from Earth's perspective is like observing a city from a high window. We only see a fraction. While we walk on Earth, our point of origin, it's natural for it to be the center of our view and existence. But as we look up at the sky and imagine outer space, we realize just how far we are from cosmic boundaries. Even the light from other stars and galaxies travels for years to reach our eyes, revealing bits of the universe far beyond our daily perception. And yet, Earth is the only home we know, where every aspect of life has been molded to coexist in harmony. As vast as the universe and solar system around us may be, it's here that humanity has laid down roots. Everything we see in the sky, what we try to uncover about aliens and other solar systems, is still filtered by our earthly view. This pale blue dot is our starting point, and wherever we go, we'll always carry a bit of Earth with us. Imagine driving at 100 kilometers per hour nonstop. At that constant speed, it would take over 160 days to reach the moon, our closest neighbor. This simple perspective already makes us feel the vastness of outer space and Earth's isolation in the universe. After all, what seems like just a few 100,000 kilometers becomes a long, lonely journey when we think of the road to get there. The moon, which we see almost every night, seems close, but cosmic distances give us a dose of humility. Even what's closest is still quite far. The relationship between Earth and the moon also illustrates how our connection to space begins nearby. The moon influences our tides, accompanies our nights, and is a source of myths and inspiration, yet only a handful of people have set foot there. If the moon seems accessible today, let's remember that few humans, even with all our technology, have reached it. Our space journey amounts to short visits, showing that even in the neighborhood, outer space is still a vast mystery to us. Moreover, the distance between Earth and the moon highlights our first step into the unknown. From the moon, the universe stretches in all directions, and distances expand exponentially. The moon is the point where our solar system begins to open up to our eyes, revealing that Earth and its proximity to this natural satellite are just the beginning. From there, the human gaze turns toward what lies beyond. In the vast solar system, the sun reigns supreme, and even it is an impressive 150 million kilometers away from Earth. This number may sound abstract, but imagine light which travels at an unimaginable speed for us, takes about 8 minutes to cover that distance. What we see of the sun, in this case, is always a reflection of the past, an image delayed by 8 minutes. This small detail reminds us that the universe, outer space itself, operates on a scale entirely different from ours. Our central star, the sun, is a constant presence vital to life on Earth. However, few of us pause to reflect on how extraordinary it is that its light takes minutes to reach us. A small lapse of time for the immensity of the universe, but one that symbolizes the colossal distances separating celestial bodies. This interval is almost like a reminder of the exact balance that keeps our solar system in harmony. A little closer or farther, and our reality, as we know it, wouldn't exist. As we broaden our view of the solar system, we realize that Earth, like the moon, is incredibly close to the sun compared to other planets, which are true distant islands. The sun, a source of energy and warmth, is the origin point of life, and yet we're far enough from it to survive. This subtle balance and these distances help define our unique position in the cosmos, reminding us that the vastness is only just beginning. Mars, our reddish neighbor, has long sparked curiosity and ambition among explorers. The idea of one day setting foot on Martian soil and expanding our presence in the universe is fascinating. But even with today's technology, the distance between Earth and Mars is immense. At its closest point, that journey would take around 50 years at the speed of a commercial jet. This shows just how challenging outer space is, making it clear that the solar system around us still holds its mysteries. Mars has a special appeal for us Earthlings. It's the planet that most closely resembles Earth, and we've long considered it a potential second home. Yet, the distances teach us to be cautious. The few rovers we've sent there reveal a harsh, uninhabitable environment, a place that would take much effort to make livable. This neighbor is, in fact, a cosmic challenge, and understanding its distance and conditions is also about understanding our limitations as explorers. As we observe Mars, it's easy to fall into the dream of colonizing other planets, but the reality is that our solar system is vast and unforgiving. Mars is relatively close compared to other planets, but even it demands extreme preparation to reach. This doesn't mean we should give up the dream. On the contrary, it means that the first step is to better understand our position and that of the red planet in the grand scheme of the universe. Neptune, the last gas giant in the solar system, is about 4.5 billion kilometers from Earth, marking the edge of our cosmic backyard. To get an idea of what this distance means, a probe traveling over 50,000 kilometers per hour would take more than a decade to reach it. The distance to Neptune reminds us that, despite all we've explored so far, most of the solar system remains a mystery to us, a vastness that seems unbridgeable. Neptune is distant not only physically, it also lies in a part of the solar system where sunlight barely reaches. The temperature, environment, and atmosphere are so different that it would be a significant challenge, even for sophisticated probes, to explore the planet up close. This frozen frontier is where the solar system begins to blur into deep space, and understanding Neptune is, in large part, understanding the limit of our home within the universe of outer space itself. Though many of us rarely think of Neptune in our daily lives, it symbolizes something important: the end of what's familiar and the beginning of the unknown. It's like an imaginary line where everything we know gives way to what we imagine. From there onward, the solar system continues, but not with planets as we know them. We move into the vastness, where the concept of distance stretches nearly to infinity, taking our imagination to a new level. Voyager 1, a probe launched over 40 years ago, has traveled more than 22 billion kilometers, becoming the most distant human-made object from Earth. Its mission is like a message in a bottle cast into the cosmic ocean, drifting through outer space and traversing the solar system until venturing beyond. It's fascinating to think that, despite its old technology compared to today's standards, Voyager still sends signals. Every time we hear that distant echo, we feel a sense of pride and admiration for human ingenuity. In the vast, silent space, Voyager carries a symbolic letter from Earth. Golden records with sounds and images that represent our planet. This is our first attempt to communicate with the universe, perhaps even with possible aliens. The idea is that, should any form of intelligent life find a probe, they could catch a glimpse of Earth, life, the solar system, and our culture. It's a sort of universal time capsule. Proof that even though we're isolated, we desire to connect with something beyond ourselves. Voyager 1's destination is uncertain, but its significance is clear. It represents the beginning of our interstellar exploration. At heart, it's a reminder that we're capable of sending something so far, even if it's just a small fragment of ourselves. And as the probe moves farther and farther away, it inspires us to think about how far we can go. Who knows what else we can explore in outer space, and what else the solar system holds for us. In 1990, Voyager 1 took a photograph that left us speechless. Earth, seen from 6 billion kilometers away, appeared as a pale blue dot lost in the vast universe. This image captured Earth so small and vulnerable that it forever marked a symbol of our responsibility to the planet. After all, this little dot is the only home we know, the place where all stories, cultures, and civilizations developed. Yet from the cosmos viewpoint, it seems so insignificant. Seeing Earth as a tiny dot floating in outer space gives us a new perspective on our existence. Carl Sagan himself, who suggested that the photo be taken, pointed out that every person who ever lived, every warrior and every artist, inhabited this pale blue dot. The solar system is our extended home, but Earth is our most intimate dwelling. There, in a fraction of the vastness, every life, every dream, and every moment unfolds. It reminds us that the planet is, in a way, an oasis in the middle of a cosmic desert. This image not only inspired reflection, but also the urgency to preserve our world. If there's no other place like Earth in the universe, at least none that we know of, it means that caring for our blue isn't just about survival, but about honoring our history and what we'll leave for the future. This photograph serves as an invitation to reflect on what truly matters as we look with awe toward the next horizon of the universe. The Milky Way, our galaxy, is a stunning giant spanning 100,000 light years from one end to the other. It houses Earth, the solar system, and countless other stars, planets, and perhaps even forms of life. Within this sea of stars, Earth is found within what we call a radio bubble, an invisible boundary where signals emitted by us since the invention of the radio have spread. It's a reminder that our presence in the universe is limited to a small fraction of this vastness. Thinking of the Milky Way is like imagining our home on a galactic scale. All our attempts to understand the universe, from outer space to research on the possibility of aliens, are actually attempts to understand our own place within this colossal context. As far as our radio signals have traveled, we are still newcomers in the cosmos, like a neighbor who has just moved in and barely begun to know the neighborhood. The Milky Way, with its billions of stars, is a vast stage of possibilities. Beyond it, of course, are other galaxies, equally or more immense, extending as far as our telescopes can reach. Each time we look at one of these distant galaxies, it's like peering through a window into another universe, reinforcing the idea that we are part of something far larger than we can comprehend. And as we explore the depths of the Milky Way, we realize that the universe's mysteries are always expanding, leading us to imagine what else might exist in the cosmic immensity. The Milky Way isn't alone in the universe. It's part of a collection of galaxies called the Local Group, which includes the Andromeda galaxy, our largest neighbor, and several smaller galaxies. Together, these galaxies form a sort of galactic neighborhood, where, despite being gravitationally bound, each one has its own systems and mysteries. The distances between the galaxies in the local group are so vast that any journey between them would make crossing the solar system feel like a brief stroll. When we look at the local group, we enter a new dimension of distances and scales. Here, the idea of neighborhood takes on a new meaning, as even neighboring galaxies are separated by millions of light years of empty space. It's a reminder of how vast and silent the universe is, an outer space where each galaxy is an island, sailing alone. Our presence, though significant on Earth and perhaps within the solar system, is just an insignificant whisper in this immensity. Thinking about the local group broadens our horizons and makes us realize that our home extends beyond the solar system and even the Milky Way. In this vast galactic territory, we are only just beginning to understand what exists. And most intriguingly, as we reach this point in our exploration, a question arises: what lies even further beyond? If the local group is just a small piece of the universe, we can only imagine what awaits us in the vastness that follows. As we expand our gaze to the cosmos, we encounter colossal structures like galactic superclusters, among them the Virgo supercluster and the even more extensive Laniakea. These vast concentrations of galaxies span hundreds of millions of light years and are like enormous cosmic cities, with galaxies grouped in complex patterns, creating a true map of filaments and voids in space. The size of Laniakea, with its 500 million light years of width, redefines the concept of vastness and reminds us that the universe is, indeed, a spectacle beyond imagination. Each supercluster is a unique structure where gravitational forces keep thousands of galaxies together, each with its own solar systems, planets, and perhaps even forms of life. Imagining them is trying to conceive of something so large that our minds can hardly grasp it. It's like observing outer space in its most monumental form, where the Milky Way itself is just a tiny dot. We are, therefore, a small part of this cosmic fabric that stretches infinitely. These megaconcentrations of galaxies are still largely a mystery to science. Their boundaries blur into the darkness of deep space, and studying them reminds us that even with all available technology, we are still far from understanding the universe's entirety. Virgo and Laniakea are only a fragment of the immense cosmic tapestry that we have barely begun to uncover. And so, if we look even further, what do we find? Perhaps the answer lies in what we call the observable universe. The observable universe, with its impressive 93 billion light years across, is the limit of what we can see, but it might be only a fraction of something even larger, possibly infinite. This cosmic horizon marks how far light has traveled since the beginning of the universe, revealing images that capture billions of years of history. What we see when we look at this edge is, in fact, a vision of the past, galaxies and stars as they were billions of years ago. This observable limit is like an imaginary edge of our window into the cosmos. Within it, the solar system, the Milky Way, and even the galaxy superclusters seem small and close. However, what lies beyond remains hidden, a mystery that only the universe's expansion might attempt to reveal. If there is an outside to what we can see, it is so distant that perhaps no technology will ever fully unveil it. Thinking of the observable universe is confronting the great mystery. What if what we can see is only a fraction of the whole? Perhaps beyond this cosmic horizon lie other galaxies, other superclusters, and even other universes, an extension of reality that our minds are not yet able to imagine. And so, the end of our view of the universe becomes the beginning of our speculation about what else could exist in the vastness. After all, where does the universe really end? After this journey through the universe, a question emerges. What will we do with this knowledge? Knowing that we're on a pale blue dot amidst the cosmos teaches us not only humility, but also makes us rethink our priorities. If Earth is our only home in the midst of an unknown vastness, how can we protect it and improve our lives here? What kind of impact do we want to leave when, looking at the sky, we realize that time and space stretch far beyond anything we'll ever see? So, what are you willing to do to expand your own perspective? If the universe is already a mystery, imagine how much more there is to explore in our lives here on Earth. What new habits, knowledge, or actions will you adopt from now on to better care for this planet and those who inhabit it? Subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications to keep receiving content that challenges the common view and reveals the extraordinary in every aspect of the cosmos. We're only just beginning to explore. The next step is yours.